Hey, everybody. Welcome back to a very, very special episode of Comedy Pinata, coming to you live from Zanies in Nashville. Before we get started, as always, we got to thank our sponsors, Sue the Collector, credit cards, student loans, mortgages, car loans, hospital bills. Do you know you have a lot of rights if any of these ever go to debt collections? That's right. Consumers, not debt collectors, have a huge list of rules they have to abide by, and that's where the law firm SueTheCollector.com comes in. SueTheCollector.com is a national consumer law firm that only helps consumers. The lawyers at Sue the Collector have helped literally thousands of people turn the tables on debt collectors and put an end to illegal harassment, abuse, and repeated phone calls that many people find themselves subjected to through no fault of their own. The lawyers at SueTheCollector.com can help everyone in all 50 states. They won millions for consumers over the years and have canceled over $1 billion in consumer-related debts. That's right. Chance, how much is that? It's a
lot.
Billion! Yeah, baby! Right now, they really want to speak to anyone that's had their car repossessed. Did you know that consumers do not have to allow repo men to take their cars against their will? In most cases, you can actually legally refuse to let them take your car. If you've ever objected to a car repo and they still got your car against your will, you may be sitting on a very valuable case. So, call Sue the Collector's office right now at 1-877-BAD-REPO or 1-877-223-7376. Again, that's 1-877-BAD-REPO or 1-877-223-7376. They're open right now to take your call. Again, that's 1-877-BAD-REPO. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Comedy Pinata. As always, Chance Willie,
Good to see you,
Reno
bud.
Collier, and our very special guest from ad-supported basic cable television for the last decade, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Gatto.
Hey.
Joe, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. This is my co-host on Two Cool Moms, another great podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on this. This is great.
Yeah, and I want to ask you guys, well, how many weeks have you been doing stand-up, real quick? Exactly. How many?
So January, end of January was my first week. So February, March, so 8 weeks, 9 weeks.
8-9 weeks. Now, I want to ask you guys something, okay?
Okay.
Imagine never having done stand-up comedy in your life, and then you're headlining. You're doing 40,
So imagine
45
I'm
minute
Reno
sets.
Collier.
Out of the gate.
I'm sorry, I'm lashing out because I'm uncomfortable. I'm
But
sorry.
imagine
He's still mad he just found out I'm his dad.
Recount the votes. I want another test.
But what are your thoughts on knowing somebody is not only trying stand-up comedy for the first time, and Chance, you've seen Joe's
Yeah.
shows, obviously.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on thinking 0 to 60, out of the gates,
Yeah.
8-10 weeks, headlining, 40 minutes? I still...
Terrifying. It's like it's making me nervous right now. Like my balls are in my stomach thinking about how terrified I would be to do that. Yeah, I can't, because when I was like 8-9 weeks in starting out, I mean, I was a mess. I was like drinking.
And you're
at
responsible
open
for
mics.
5 minutes.
Yeah, and he's like a professional. Yeah, exactly. And that's like 3 minutes, and I'm getting like, where's the light? How much time do I have left? And he's doing like 45 minutes, and it's like a fully fleshed out like hour. You can see it's going somewhere. There's stories, but there's bits, there's personality, it's performance. Yeah, I don't know. I was like super impressed with it.
thanks,
Sincerely,
man.
I'm not blowing smoke up
Dude,
your ass
even-
because you're the Kevin Durant of True TV, but I do. I was like, damn, this guy is like, wow, he's been doing it like no time, and he's like, it's already a fully conceptualized hour, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
not, but it's not even coming into it. It's coming into it when people already know you. That's even harder.
Right, yeah.
Oh, dude,
That's
so the
even more
expectation.
of like, because if no one knows who you are and you do go up and like Chance does and just talks for 40 minutes, without any material, you don't need jokes at that point. Yeah, I mean, you can just,
Who wants to hear about my dad?
guys, it's so hard being young.
I'm depressed, and here's a
No,
very
but
long
everybody knows
anecdote.
who you are.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to bring it.
There's a
in
grace
way.
period of 5 to 7
Right,
minutes.
Right, and then like Seinfeld's, and then you have to be off to the races.
Right.
That's a
I've
great
never-
point.
I haven't seen your show.
You're not missing much.
But I mean, it is. It makes me nervous for you. But apparently you're already selling more tickets than I am. And I've been doing it 25 years. So really, screw you,
Yeah, I
dude.
know. What am I doing? Is this an intervention? I'm not sure.
I hope you eat it every night.
It's funny because there is the decision to make what kind of person you're going to be, right? I'm not going to get up there and be doing like setup, punchline joke stuff because people already know from a decade. So I kind of just have to get up there and be myself. And luckily, that guy is a little entertaining. I was able to, because you have to make the decision, what are you going to be? Am I going to get up there and like pontificate on jokes and stuff? But that's not what people I try to bring my personality to the stage. So that's really what.
But dude, you're already from what I know, you're already hilarious. Like the show was
thank you, man.
hysterical. So you're already funny.
Yeah.
So that part's over with.
Right.
But then I don't want to let him down when I'm live.
No, but also,
But I'm like, it was funny. What happened?
Yeah.
But being by yourself on stage is hard for
is.
anybody. But coming into it where everybody's like, yeah, I know that dude. I love that guy. That'll give you, like you said, 5 minutes, and then after that, you got to bring it. And apparently you are. So.
Well, that was the biggest transition, was to be on the stage by myself. You know, you only had to be funny for, you're responsible for 25% of the funny when you're up there with 4 guys. Right. So now it's like all eyes on you, which is a little different. But
it's like being in a band. You can make a little mistake on the drums, and people
nobody
don't know.
That's right. When
But
that solo shreds, nobody cares. Right? Nobody forgot that yet. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, we're really happy to have you here because today, as you know, the concept that everybody knows, we watch stand-up comedy clips, we talk about them, discuss them. A lot of these comics we know. Some of these are fresh new faces to even some of us, but now you have an educated palate. So we're very excited to hear your perception and opinions.
3 months, you got this.
There's a name for the album.
Yeah, you're ready to judge, right?
Yeah, I'll be here to pass judgment.
Yeah, that's how I always feel. I'm like an opener. I'm like, I think it was a 10 out of 10, and I'd love to work with you.
Guys, that was a commercial for Sue the Collector.
Right? Fight the Repo Man.
I think it was a 10 out of 10. I'd love to work with it.
Yeah, and my podcast still needs a sponsorship. So if you want to fight the Repo Man.
Well, here we go. Number 1. Let's see who we got here. Vic DiBitetto. Vic DiBitetto, East Coast guy. And he's a guy that I opened for quite a bit when I first started. And he's had a lot of videos that have gone viral. He's ranting against the government or COVID, and he's in his car, and he's a really, really entertaining guy. And I know
People say it looks like me.
Yeah. I mean,
People say that. I get this all the time online.
he's,
That we
the,
look alike.
he's the affordable Joe Gatto.
Hopefully not in that shot.
No, we look. No, unfortunately, yes.
That kind of looks like you're in a different kind of movie. You know what I mean?
That's what it looks like if you and Sal got like mushed together.
One of those if you had a kid things. You know?
Exactly.
If you never made it on True, this is you.
No, I've seen his clips too. Like he's funny, makes me laugh, and it's like the delivery and stuff. I could see the similarities. He's like crazy Italian, so that's why.
Very East Coast.
Yeah.
By the way, you could also see him do stand-up, or Shakespeare Summer Stock in Parsippany, New Jersey, I believe. Pontificate. No, he never did Shakespeare, guys. I was like, is somebody going to join me on this?
I'm like, wow, he's got a real range.
Yeah,
No, not at all.
he's
But
playing Banquo in Macbeth at the summer production.
truly hilarious, sweet guy, and I'm glad to see he's had success coming out of COVID and selling out all those one-nighters along the East Coast. So let's put our cans on
nice,
and
dude.
indulge in some Vic DiBitetto on our Italian-themed episode today, by the way. I believe is what it is. I got a little heads up, so here we go.
I'm Italian. I grew up in a basement. That's how I know I'm Italian.
Yeah, Columbus Day.
Italians have a beautiful house. 3 floors. They live in a basement.
Oh,
I didn't see upstairs. I was 5 years old. I couldn't get past the ropes.
hey.
You can't use the furniture. It's all wrapped in plastic. I'm like, Grandma, you expecting rain in the house? Why do you do this? Even a dog is wrapped in plastic. Let him out. Look, he's trying to bark. He's fogging up. Let him out. Then you're on the couch. You make that embarrassing noise, right? That wasn't me. That was the plastic. Don't look at me. You ever fall asleep in that plastic in the summertime? You start drooling in your sleep. You wake up. You stick it to the couch. You feel like a fruit roll-up. Get me off! I don't know what happened. I was watching a movie. Get me off! Well, get me a beer. Forget it. I'll take the whole couch. I don't care. Open the door. Open the door. There's that statue of the lady holding a gallon of water. The cup of the moon breast. Yeah. And the plastic runner, 43 miles long. It's good to have in case the bride walks in.
By the way, crushing.
Yeah,
There's
murder.
people crying at the show right now.
Yeah.
I love it, all of it speaks so true to me. That's like my grandma's house growing up for sure. But I totally love how shiny his black shoes are. Like that. There was a time in my life where it was time to go out. Like that was one of the things on the checklist. You had to shine the shoes up. Like that was
really?
it. Yeah, for sure. So I respect that, Vic.
This hits home, though, to every East Coast
100%,
family, right?
100%. Yeah.
Me and Reno have no idea what the fuck.
Right.
This guy's talking
No,
about.
sure, yeah.
I thought
You
he was
guys felt like
very
you were in
loud.
trouble. You guys are just in
know.
trouble.
Very
You're
loud.
getting yelled at.
No, what I loved was
And
his
by the way,
build.
that was on mute. You could still hear him, right?
Yeah.
I liked his build.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, I was like, okay, I've seen this, but he has that rhythm and that kind of thing, and you keep laughing harder as he goes on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some guys.
He's rolling.
Yeah, he kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but he takes you with him.
Right.
And each punch has a little more of a.
Yeah, you're just holding on. You're just holding on and hope you don't fall off. It's crazy.
Exactly.
You know, I think when I watch him, this to me is what I see. I see a guy who crushed in the 90s with this material and didn't, as the years went on, never grew. As he crushed, this is it. It's set in stone. This is what I'll do. And I think he's part of the evolutionary process to somebody like Sebastian. So
Right.
If not for Vic, then you don't have Sebastian. But this is like somebody that does exactly what's in his wheelhouse, but never, I think, expanded as the years went on. That's
Right.
just what I see as a comic that
Yeah.
I think, yeah, you could do all those things. And I've heard these jokes a million
Right,
times
totally.
from a lot of the guys I've seen in Jersey, in Connecticut,
It's very
in Philly.
relatable, but there's not another layer behind it. When you watch Sebastian, like there's another layer there.
Yeah.
He's going behind the wall and examining what makes people who came from this background kind of tick. But this is just the observations, and then
they're
Sebastian
surface.
has the introspection, and he probably didn't key into that, because it's
I like the use of the physical comedy for sure, though. Like standing
it's
up with
great.
the couch on the
Stand
face
up with
is
the
great.
couch is
If
great.
you
Yeah.
saw this guy in a club, it would be insane.
Yeah.
You'd be rolling. It's you would have to see it live probably for it to do any.
You could be a great
justice.
comic and be really relevant, but if you're like a showcase show and he goes up, you're like, oh, fuck, I
It's
don't want
over.
to follow him.
I don't want to
Yeah,
follow
yeah,
this
I'll
guy.
follow
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And he has to go up before you because he's got a thing. He's like, I have my ex-wife's in town. I gotta, and so he's gotta like get out. So he goes in the middle, and then you gotta go after him. You're like, what do I do
he
after
really
this?
builds a story.
He's like, don't get him started on his mother-in-law.
Have you ever the statue of the woman with the vase and how he physically, like the physicality of it? I agree. I think
That was such an interesting thing. The statue of the what? Do you know what he's talking?
100%. Yeah, my grandmother had that. in
That's
the
like an
front. You
Italian
looked at-
thing? That's so
There's always
funny.
the fake grapes on the bottom, like the grapes. Like that's yeah, I know. That's it exactly. The fucking fake grapes are right there. You know, like everybody's like, oh, they're fake. You're spitting out a rubber grape. Yeah. Dude, my grandmother killed her dog because a fake grape fell on the floor and it choked to death. And my grandma was like, the fucking fake grapes killed him.
Are you serious? Oh my god!
I thought I'm with you, Chance. Like when he started talking about that, I thought of an Italian restaurant in Memphis.
Yeah.
To go to.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, that's the lobby of the. Okay, they just
very
have it in the
relatable.
house.
Yeah, when you hit your family.
That's either the lobby of that restaurant or someone's grandmother's house on the East Coast.
Right, that's all those two places. Right. But he almost. Have you ever seen a guy do material so long they almost grow back into it? Like
Yes.
they do it and it works, and then there's a period where it doesn't fit in, and then they get to a certain age and it's like, oh, he's mad about it. Like
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
before he was
He's-
probably just a little irritated, but now
Right.
he's fucking yeah. And the thing with the face and the thing and the damn it.
That's so
You
true.
know?
I wonder if you go back and hear. I guarantee he did at least some of these bits 10, 15 years ago. It'd be a more subtle version of it.
Yeah.
But now there's like, I agree. Maybe that's out of the boredom of not having written, but finding new ways to make it interesting for him
To deliver
as a
it.
performer. Yeah.
Feel that real rage, There's something.
Yeah.
There's something real.
It's
like
coming
the-
from somewhere.
The real bitterness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a catch in there, like with me, like when I went out to LA years ago,
Yeah.
you had to kill every time. So you have 7 minutes and it destroys.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you tell the joke so many times, they change. It's not like where someone can tell if you wrote something and you're trying it or you're working on it. If
Sure.
you've told it 500 times and you're doing it, you know every nuance,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
bam, boom, bing, bang. But then it takes away from just because it kills, then you try to do something smart around it. It's a weird dynamic of trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I did this thing about monkeys in space for so long. I can do it in my sleep, and I don't do it anymore because of I couldn't package it anymore. It was like,
Sure.
here's a bunch of stuff I'm really irritated with, and then here's a monkey, and, and then I'm like, and fuck that guy too. You know, and it doesn't- there's no match.
Got it. Right. Wow, that's forced.
You're like
This guy hates monkeys for some reason. Doesn't make sense.
He hates people but loves monkeys for 4 minutes right in the middle. Then he goes right back to hate
I always
everybody.
find out like that part is whenever you see like when he says like a fruit roll up. I wonder what that punchline was. There's probably 50 other things he tried and he landed on fruit roll up, right? When you wake up, you feel like
Yeah.
and any of my sets whenever I have like the Leica or where you're giving it an example.
Yeah.
I feel like that a lot of that is where you really get to play, and then you find the one that works, and then there you go. That's it.
And you learned all
Yeah.
that in 4 months.
In my profound experience, guys.
In my 4 months of doing this, I have broken it down to a science. Please be quiet while I explain myself.
I didn't realize you were going to invite me on your podcast. So sit here and shut the fuck up. This week we have Joe. I go hi and I just on the eye candy. Oh, we're in a bad spot up on the eye candy.
Well, what do you score this? 1 out of 10? What do you give that chance?
I just feel like a 6, 7. You know, somewhere
Yep.
in there, somewhere in that range, a little above
Reno?
average because he's crushing. But
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe?
Oh, you give numbers?
We give numbers, yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean, everybody's doing their thing. I give everybody 10s. Who am I
Yeah.
to take a number away? I've only been doing this 4 fucking months, right?
I go,
you said this guy. Wait, you said this guy's not working anymore, right?
no, he is working, yeah.
Oh,
he's starting
10.
to sell out. Jets available to
Why
feature.
are you saying anything?
What am I doing?
Edit that out. Edit the 6, 7 out.
Roll the tape. Roll it back.
Yeah, I go 6 or 7. Those are all kind of standard jokes I've heard from a lot of Italian comics on the East Coast. But I think his delivery is great. He's fantastic. He's so likable. And I really like him too. Okay, here we go. Number 2. What we?
I don't know if you guys do this on Comedy Pinata, but pass.
All right. To be determined. To be determined. TBD.
You guys edit this, right? This isn't live, so we can just cut this out. This whole piece. Let's go to the next one.
I think you just show that and then show Joe going pass. You guys can cut this, right? We're going to the next one.
I just.
All right, here we go. What do we got? Number 3.
I just thought of a really good one. If you want to go to my podcast,
Oh, my God.
Dom
Dude, one of the
Irrera.
greatest.
Okay, we're going to cleanse the palate here with a little Dom Irrera.
Best.
All right.
Not only a great comic, a great human. I love him.
And this is why I love. You can instantly
legend.
turn on the clip. You know this is done in the 80s.
Yeah.
And that's how good his material's evergreen.
Dude, I'm hoping for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I know his stuff so well and seen him for years. There's a bit that I want, when
You
as
want
soon as
this
I
to
see
be-
him,
oh,
I'm
this
like,
is the
come
one?
on, do
Yeah.
the guy in the pot stirring around. You know what I mean?
Straight and gay is an interesting phenomenon. You
Here we
never
go.
see two straight guys
Here we
dancing
go.
each other. You'll see gay guys, straight
Pause.
women. You never see two straight guys.
Can we just go back to the Aries real quick? And then we'll... Okay.
Do you have any dice clay?
yeah, I feel like we need to soften
Al.
the.
Big Al, would you care to boogie? Hey, come over here and wrap those construction worker meat hooks around my big, hairy, mole-filled, muscle-bound back, Al, and spin me, will you? Spin me like you know I like to be spinned. Hold me like you know I need to be held, Al. Come on, put your hairy man hooks on me, big boy.
Evergreen,
I am Italian. I have a school for Italians. I have a school where I actually teach Italians how to be more Italian. Teach them all the fine points of Italian acting. I teach them how to crank up their ass, how to pick themselves up, how to say all the catch Italian phrases. Forget about it. Definitely. You know what I mean? Yo, who died and left you, boss? Teach all the Italian vowels. Ah, e, o, ooh. When I was a little kid, I lived in South Philly. I'd see the guys in the corner. I'd learn from them. I'd see them. Hey, Louie, how come you didn't come around, eh? Everybody was around. Hey, Little Petey, Big Petey, Regular Petey, Joe Bag of Donuts was here, Jimmy the Woman, Nicky Potato Salad, Squidlid, Mussels Marinara, Irregular Petey, Carmel Lemon Cola, Orthopedic, Repeaty. How come you didn't come around, eh? Hey, Angie, I didn't know you history, and they was around. If I didn't know that, I'd have been around. Aye. Yeah, all right.
Wow.
Tough guys. These are some tough guys. These are the kind of guys. Come on, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? I'll tell you what. You better fucking kill me, cause I'm crazy. Come on, jerk off. Come on, hit me on the head. I got a fucking plate in my head. You're just gonna ruin a good back, cuz. Come on. It's the kind of guy who could rip his entire arm off. Now I'm really pissed. That was my favorite arm. I used to hug my girlfriend with that arm. My Uncle Joe's one of these great Italian characters. My Uncle Joe, how you doing? My wife's a pain in the ass. She's busting my fucking kiyuns. My daughter's married to a friggin' loser. I got a rash so bad on my ass I can't even sit down. But you know me, I can't complain. Straight and gay is an interesting
best.
phenomenon. You
The
never
best,
see
yeah.
two
Wow. I mean,
To throw in Repeaty as one of the names.
Repeaty.
Oh, what a great, like skip some and come back. Oh,
God,
so
that was
good.
great. That was really, really great.
The amount of tags he had in there, he was
Yeah.
just rolling. Gabagoola, gabacola, ga-ga-ba-ba-ba. It was,
We
yeah,
lost
it
the
was
light
really
here.
good.
Is that going to go back on or battery died on it?
Battery died on the light. Well, this is what you, well.
Well, good thing I came.
Here we go.
Yeah. So I'm just like imagining that guy playing at like a Southern club, you know, and everybody in the audience being like, "Who's this
let me tell
fucking
you
Mexican?"
No, dude. No. I used to bartend at the Punchline in Atlanta, and he'd come through and absolutely destroyed every
Really?
single night. Every single night.
No shit.
I would sit in the back. He did this bit about the smallest man in the world training to be a fighter, like about having to lose weight. And
Yeah.
there were a couple guys, Brian Regan, Anthony Clark, Dom,
Sure.
who I would stop bartending to watch certain bits that they did. He had one about his friend painted ships. And do you ever hear that bit?
No.
And his buddy's painting like warships or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And his friend, "Hey, how do you think I'm doing? I'm painting ships gray." Like the whole, and he goes on this whole long tangent of,
Yeah.
everything's fantastic, like just this nutty, and everybody went berserk. And that's back when Atlanta was still a southern.
Sure,
this is
yeah.
the early '90s. Like people loved that guy, and the sweetest dude.
The best.
Dumb-
I mean, 10.
Best, yeah.
I would have said 10 before you even started
Yeah.
playing it.
He's always a 10. Yeah, he was
He's
great.
a master, man.
That
He's
was-
probably
that's-
tired of doing that bit, but you could do that bit verbatim right now and still crush.
100%.
Yeah, you could.
As
Yeah.
you just did in front of 3 jaded comedians and a freshie.
I'm
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a jaded comedian. Okay.
You've made it. You made
Yeah,
it, kid.
exactly.
Hang in there.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. You're completely better.
Yeah, no, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And just even like the content is something you would expect Italians to do, right? Everybody knows about the Italian slang and all that, but just the way he says the regular words funny, he says the weird words even funnier. Like it just nothing's wasted when he's on the rant.
A regular Petey. Like,
Irregular Petey.
You know when he thought, like,
Yeah.
just going through, go, oh.
Regular Petey.
What
Yeah.
other kind of
Yeah.
Petey is there?
That's I feel like every week we watch one of these like really old clips, and I talk about this every week. But it's like if these things come back around and they're like cool again, like this guy, because like people are so like young people are so into The Sopranos right now. It's like this huge thing. So it's like if you posted a clip of this on TikTok, it might go viral right now.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's like the clothing came back around, like the like old school one-liners came back around, like Italian culture came back around. It's weird how like time is cyclical like that, Like I'm watching him, like this guy's kind of something cool about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel aged. It could be happening right now.
But Dom's success, his trajectory, he's done so many late night talk shows, Dangerfield Young Comedian specials, was in a bunch of films. He's got a really storied resume. And you see the difference between, and not knocking Vic, but there's an immense difference between the craftsmanship in joke telling from Dom as opposed to Vic. Vic was, again, killing. Surface. Dom, again, just peeled back a few more layers.
yeah, it's how
that's
how
the
little
distinction.
deeper. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's something a little deeper. Did this one go out too?
All right, so now
We're going to cut that out.
there's going to be a lot of editing in this.
Dude, Dom, one time at Montreal, he had to host one of the New Faces things.
Sure.
He came out, this kid went out, was like 20 years old. He walks out, he goes, I got bits older than that kid. My Petey bit is 10 years old. And then he started doing it.
Oh, wow.
Destroyed.
Crushing.
And you know the industry people have heard Dom. Of
course.
I mean, he used to have to
Yeah.
host everything up there, and it was just, that guy's, he's a master. Like, if I could pick out 10 guys, like, he'd be one of those guys that you just know could just bam, bam.
Well, he's a locomotive train.
Yeah.
Once the train's left the station, that bit is going full on, full force, and there's so much momentum, and it's him carrying it. Again, sometimes there's cadence and tone to certain individuals. He has a very distinct delivery, and it's one where it just builds and it's fun. And he's somebody, you kick your feet up and go, I'll listen to him for 45 minutes.
You get fortunate when you get to know him too, because he's the kind of guy that likes to laugh.
Yes.
And he's as good as an audience as he is a comic. Like he's great to just hang out with, and just he has a million stories to tell you because he's been around. But then also like just he loves to like listen and engage and laugh in a real way. He drove me and Sal home in L.A. from somewhere. Sal, befriended him, we knew him, and he drove us home, and we just sat in his car, parked outside of before we get out of our hotel for like 20 minutes, and just bullshit. And he was crying, laughing. We were just all like punching each other, laughing. I forgot even what it was about because it wasn't about anything, but it was about everything.
Yeah.
And he is just such a cool, like he just loves to laugh and loves that whole thing. And he's just a good dude. You know what I mean? He's just like such a great guy.
Every time I see him, he goes, Stevie, those eyes. Oh! Always makes me laugh. Yeah. Well, Dom Irrera will always get 10 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, for sure.
I love him. I think the world of him. And again, like you said, just a great guy.
Yeah.
Class
He's
guy.
an icon, man. He's great.
And he could be a grizzled veteran.
Yeah.
Easily.
But he could not want to be there. He could not want to.
Always, yeah.
Always has time.
The really funny guys are like Dom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like truly funny guys love it, love the art of it.
Love being a comic.
Love being a comic.
Being with comics. You know what I hear from a lot of the vets lately is and Henry Cho talked about this, where in the 80s and 90s, comics would go and everybody stayed in the condo. And now the headliner stays in a hotel and the feature stays in the condo and maybe sometimes the MC. But now, and that was popular for a while, and now just the headliner stays in the hotel, and a lot of clubs don't have a condo. And so what you don't have is that communal effort of the weekend where all three comics are coming up together and they all knew each other a lot more and better.
Right.
And slowly that's not becoming the case. It's becoming more kind of like a big head honcho coming in. Sometimes they have their own acts and they don't, they have their own openers. So a lot of the local comics aren't getting up as much or having the interaction with the headliners, which is kind of a shame.
It is.
Yeah.
I do that. I bring my own people.
Yeah.
I don't.
But
Should I not do that?
I bring my own
I'm
people
asking
too.
for
No,
a friend.
absolutely. No, you do whatever. No, man. A lot of guys used to bring their own people too.
Yeah.
I think what Henry might be saying too is there's something about when you lived in an apartment
Yeah.
with like two guys for a week.
The community
and you're
of it,
going
yeah.
out
It's
partying.
It's like a camp,
and it is,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you wake up and what did you do last night? I don't even know.
You've also skipped the part where you have to do what he's talking about, where it's like the part where it's like you're playing like a C club, and like you're still selling tickets on the radio. You're trying to paper the room, and they kind of just throw together a show, and you're like, we're doing it, but it's already here. Like
got
the
it,
show is happening. You're selling out. You need to have someone opening for you.
Well, that's what always made me nervous.
I'm also available.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
opened
kidding,
for
I'm
me.
kidding.
And when you
I'm
opened for
kidding.
me, I had never even heard you tell a joke.
I know,
And then
yeah.
I was like, oh, I hope it doesn't suck. Like that's
Yeah,
how I
yeah,
came
I
here.
know,
because that's really important for
But
someone that's coming
there's
in.
a responsibility to the audience if you're at the level you're already at.
Yeah.
Where you do have to give them a really good
Great
show.
show.
Yeah.
Especially
So
when
you're in a unique position that's I think
Dude, you don't
unique
wanna
to
roll
this
the dice.
time.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
much
exactly.
because sometimes since they're not getting a hotel or a condo, that means they're not getting paid very much, and that means the quality of what you could get.
Right.
I mean, dude,
True.
I've had to go up because I bring a guy sometime, and then I was like, I don't pay for the flight and all that crap, and we'll just. But dude, sometimes I'm like, I would have given my whole check to
Right.
not have to follow this disaster.
Yeah.
And then you get into, hey, can you cut him back to 10?
And you don't wanna
before he
shit
does
on-
the dead hookers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Look at my grandma's corpse. It's like, what the fuck?
dude.
Oh
Who
yeah.
told
Oh,
you
you
that
can't
this is-
handle it. You can't handle
Yeah.
it.
They
You
don't
need
get
a
me.
nightlight. Is this
They
too
don't get
dark
me.
for you?
Sucks.
And they blame the crowd. They have the audacity. It's like you did rape, Hitler, race, back to back. And then you're like, oh, this crowd sucks. It's like you have no social
Talk
skills,
about
dude.
a bookstore. Talk about coffee brands.
Oh
Throw me
my
something.
God, I
They go and
know.
talk about Hitler and then come in the back. They don't get history jokes. It's like, that's not a history joke. That was a Jewish joke, and I freaking hate you. Like, you can't, I don't know
Yeah,
why
It
I'm
also
talking to
wasn't.
this.
It also wasn't a joke.
It's a talking.
you liked it.
It's a talking point. Yeah.
All right, well, I think Dom's our winner today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the board, we can agree with that. Now, as you know, we're not just sitting here judging and discussing other comics bits. We are on the hook ourselves. So one of us will have a bit in this envelope. We don't know who it is. That I don't know. So let's go to number 4. Who do we got here? Please. Oh, fuck me.
Yes.
Hey.
One of my favorites.
All right, Steve Byrne.
One of my favorites.
That's me.
One of my favorite comedians on this podcast. Yeah.
This is the only comic Chance is going to watch that he doesn't want to feature for.
Yeah, exactly.
All
right, this is all right. Well, this is one of the more recent ones, so I pray to God I can stand by this.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Nice. The flag in the background.
That's very good. Very patriotic.
Very
That's it.
patriotic.
Really selling that American side of you.
Yeah, really
That's
really
good branding.
detracts from your
speech.
facial features.
If you open with "Let's give it up for the troops,"
All right, here we go.
I don't want to sound grim. I don't want to sound negative. But once I turn 40, I accept death a little more. Like I don't want to die. I want to live a long life. I want to see all those Star Wars movies too, okay? But if death happened to me tomorrow, it's like, fuck it, I'm tired. This is what I mean about losing the will to live, okay? If I have a large cardboard box, I got to take it out to the recycling garbage cans. This box won't fit in the garbage cans. I got to go back in. I got to get scissors. I got to come back out. I got to break. You know what? I'd rather die than break down this box. Fuck the Earth. Sorry, Earth. Not this week. If I go to a gas station, I swipe my card at the pump. It says, "Please come inside. See attendant." I'd rather die than go inside and see that attendant. I'd literally rather get in my car and drive 3 miles to another gas station than walk 10 feet.
They get you. They get you. Relatable. He's relatable.
Crossover.
Yeah. He's like, Taylor, can you get a shot of a black guy?
That's from Ari's special, by the way. It's not even from mine.
You cut in. Yeah.
It's grainy. It's from the 80s. It cuts back for a half a second. It's Dom.
You see a Mad TV logo?
You freeze it like it's Dom. And he's like, repeat. He's like, not this week.
Not this week. That's a good bit.
Well,
kind of a dark
that's even
bit.
half
I like
the bit.
that.
More the bit. The second part of that was, you know, sometimes when you do the tapings, right, and then in the middle of the bit it gets the applause break, and you're like, "But I'm not finished," and then you finish the bit, and it's like it still gets a laugh, but we peaked a second ago, and I carried on with the bit because there's like another 30 seconds of it.
But that's not good. It got cut out. So you should talk about what we saw, the good stuff.
It got cut out, so that's why we
Yeah,
put
you
an
guys should have seen
African
this
American
shit. Yeah, perfect.
crowd member in there.
An African American person.
Human being that enjoys comedy.
Human being.
Everybody else would.
I liked it. I will say one of my favorite things about you is your choices of a couple tags at the end. Like the "not this week" was the funniest part for me, and you didn't have to say that, but you did say it. I love when you say that. Not this week. Like that was a really funny way to throw that in there. You already had the two of them, the two big laughs in there, and you threw in "not this week," and that's what stood out to me.
I think with most comics, it's always the line that doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not the
right,
punchline.
right.
We always appreciate the tag that's like kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
And I've seen that so many times. There was one you mentioned last week when we were working together. I go, that line, it's so great. I forget which one it was, but I complimented. But I agree. Yeah.
The stuff that keeps the momentum going. You're good at that. I like that.
dude, I was kind of giggling, and then as I watch it, I was like, I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, I
Relatable.
feel
Yeah.
that. Like I feel, like I would. It's.
But it's like it's weird because you put your car in the thing. It says, "Please see attendant." It's like I'd rather just drive to another one and do it all over again than. Like you would save time by just going inside. I've never gone inside. I've never seen the attendant.
You check your gas tank to make sure you have enough gas to get to the
To get
next
to the other one.
Yeah. Can I make it to the mobile down the street?
Yeah.
I don't like
So
being
I-
told what to do.
Yeah.
I like
Like going to, I'm like, no, yield,
yeah.
no.
Where? Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
yourself. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
tell me what to do.
You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, you don't tell
Machine.
me, and it's a machine.
Yeah. This is a Terminator.
That's how exhausting it is to talk to to poor people. You know, like you're like I'd rather.
Did you say talk to poor people?
Wait, what is going on, Chance?
He goes, it's exhausting to talk to poor people.
That's where I would take the jokes. Like I'm not gonna go inside and talk to a poor person. You know, I'm gonna
It's
drive
not what he
3
said,
miles
bro.
away.
Bro, that's not what he
I
said.
know. I'm writing.
That's what you're inferring.
I'm writing. I know. I'm writing a better joke.
During the break, Chance said Ari Spears was the greatest comedian of all time. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like I'm not gonna
Finally,
go inside.
the spokesman
What am I
for
gonna
you?
go inside and talk to a poor guy? No, I'm gonna drive 10
Again,
miles
the word
away.
was attendant. I don't know where you're getting poor guy.
a poor person, a lower income
sexism,
worker.
and the poor.
Why is the guy poor? He might be
no,
doing it
it-
for fun. He could be a multimillionaire that just is living an eclectic life.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know where you pump your gas. My attendant
I
rolls
like
in a Rolls Royce, baby.
I like the that
I want
you
to watch
go
him dig.
the beginning of the dig.
I want to watch you dig yourself out of this. So go on about the poor.
Why do you hate poor people again?
Yeah. Well, they just smell different.
Well, George is holding up his hand. I think he wants to communicate something.
No,
We have another clip.
There's a 5? 5.
Another clip.
Ooh.
This is an audible. Okay. Joe Gatto.
Oh, it's me.
Hey.
Joe Gatto.
What is this, cell phone
what is
footage?
this?
Yeah, dude. You get a video.
Yeah, it's on like a T-Mobile Razor.
We got a
Filmed
Joe
it on a sidekick.
Oh,
Oh, this is from here.
from here. Okay. Here we go. Joe Gatto clip. Here we go. Let's see this.
Was this last night?
Checks.
Yeah.
The bottom
Yeah, that's-
I recognize that
Every
shirt.
check is an opportunity. It's called the memo section. 4 with a blank line, and you get to decide, what is this check for? And if you are not writing the 2 words, sexual favors, on that line, there's the exit. Thank you for coming. Get out of my show. I don't care who you're writing it to. I don't care who it's going to. It's going to, the bill company or whatever. Who are you going to? Your gas company, electric, charity. I don't give a shit. 4 sexual favors. That's it. I used to pay my roommate used to pay the landlord, and I would have to give my half of the rent to him, $725 for sexual favors every month. And then his ass would have to go deposit the check in the bank. This is before you take the picture bullshit. His ass would have to walk to the Bank of America, slide the check across the Senate, look him in the eyeballs, and go, yes, I'd like to deposit this check that I received. $725 for sexual favors. The teller would be like, not a bad deal. He'd always beg me to stop. He'd beg me, Joe, please stop, please, please. It's so embarrassing. So I was like, fine. And one moment, I just wrote 4 butt stuff. And now here's where you guys get to make a decision on how awesome you are. The ones of you that laughed really hard will be paying the cable bill next week. And you're gonna look down at that check, you're gonna see that 4 line, and you're gonna go, butt stuff. And that's gonna be my type of people. And I love you guys. Because not only are you doing something that's gonna make you laugh, imagine being that person that works in accounts payable.
It's a well-written joke because you did the turn at the end. Like you already have like the whole momentum of joke writing down.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
You've been doing this 4 months. 4 months.
Yeah.
The physicality, the salesmanship.
Nobody
the
deposits a check like that,
personalization of it.
Yeah, the
Eye contact.
the micro act outs are like we talk about.
The timing,
it's like
too,
Louis
dude.
shit.
Your
Yeah,
timing
like-
is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like either like really goofy stuff or really dark shit, and that was really goofy, and yours was really dark, and I think the blending of those 2 things is probably like I love that dynamic between you guys. You know what I mean? Like just really over the top, goofy, absurd.
Yin Yang Parmesan.
Yang Yang Parmesan. That's us. That was the original name of our podcast.
thing already?
Yang Yang Parmesan. That was it. It says who comes with Yang Yang Parmesan.
Yeah. You're like, because there's like, Steve's like, I would rather fucking kill myself than go into a gas station. And then you're like, dude,
Make somebody's day.
You're like, make somebody's day. And between it, there's this like it's really charming. I don't know. I like that dynamic. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's a hell of a shirt choice.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have showed me
You
that
even
before.
dress, yeah. Whenever Steve's up there, he's dresses like in a full like raincoat and it's like zipped up to his eyes, and he's like, "Fuck you! I don't believe in humanity anymore." And you come out,
I'm popping pastels off. I'm
you're
like,
popping
it's all
pastels.
sunshine, y'all.
you're like, "Hey,
Let's have some giggles and yuck yucks.
yeah, happy Easter."
Happy Easter. I look like a doofy fucking Easter egg.
Dude,
Yeah, you
honest to
look
God, for you to have gotten to that point in 4 months makes me want to vomit. Like when honestly, I've gone back and watched my old stand-up from when I started, and it makes me want to step in front of a bus. And watching it, that's fantastic. Dude.
It's a fun bit.
man.
It's a fun
It's a
bit.
fun
It's
bit, but
personal.
your timing, that takes forever to learn that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
stopping and allowing, you're doing it, you're a pro because you're stopping and allowing them to laugh and finish their laugh before you pop in again.
Yeah.
That took
You
me
can't teach
forever
that.
to learn. You,
Do-
can't
do,
teach
do
it.
you find that doing it, like when you were doing Jokers a lot, are any of the skills translatable to what you're doing now on stage? Anything specifically you can think of?
No, well, being on stage with them was, but the live show stuff.
you did the live
that.
show
The live
stuff.
show stuff was, you definitely is where you got to work out that muscle. But I also started with live performance. I started with improv and things. So being in front of a crowd, I was always
That's right.
comfortable.
You guys did improv,
yeah,
and
but
that's how you-
stand up is different. Like that, pausing
Yeah.
waiting for people to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
That's hard,
That
dude,
is a thing that
with
we
your
like
nerves
some of
and
them.
everything.
And then
And-
sometimes you get nervous because you're not sure if people are going to get it if it takes them too long.
Right.
So you're like, shit, I got to stop talking again. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a joke in there that I love. I say when I went to the doctor and he's surprised I'm I'm in good health. He looks at me and I was like, he looked at my X-ray and what did I think he was going to see? Kidney scones. And I think that's hysterical. And nobody laughs, but I wait just for one person to laugh. And I'm like, you get it. You think that's funny.
So that means you're already having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Dude, I think it's great.
The believing in it. Like, I'm gonna. It's like the guy we were talking about earlier who's like really trying to sell the Hitler joke, but it's like this is like it's the sweet side of that. We're like, I believe in this scone joke, and I'm gonna wait until you motherfuckers believe in it too.
Everybody catch up. The bus is leaving. Come on.
Exactly. Dude,
Somebody acknowledge it.
I'm gonna
I even
sit
like
it.
how it's like sexual favors. Please don't do that. Okay, I won't. And then the double down of butt stuff.
Yeah.
But
Which is still soft and funny.
And you could have said it 100 different variations, but butt stuff is the funnier choice.
it is the funnier choice.
Yeah.
It's phonetically like butt stuff. Like it's just like it's
so ambiguous.
It's so ambiguous.
well,
yeah.
what is it?
You could
Like-
do filthy. The bad comedian would have been like this fucking, but you were like butt stuff.
Yeah.
It's butt stuff.
What is it? What are
Yeah.
we talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
You know it's dirty, but it's sweet and it's fun.
But
to
look at
laugh
this shirt.
Yeah.
Of course I'm not. I'm going to say that's a
Yeah.
guy who says butt
Yeah.
stuff.
You say butt stuff, and that's I think the big thing too is like we've watched all these Italian comedians today, and the like you have the rhythm of like an old school Italian guy, but the stuff you're talking about is like so out of that. This is like very modern. It's very updated. It's very absurdist. It's you're bringing like a refreshing kind of energy into that same delivery. Does that make sense? And
It's
I
not
like
stereotypical
Yeah.
Italian stuff,
I
right?
like that contrast because the momentum, it's like fun to listen to the rhythm of the like old Italian delivery, but then when you put like kind of interesting, silly, absurd subject matter into it, I think it's like really exciting.
Oh, cool.
It's not the relax. You got a few weekends
I was
coming up.
gonna say,
Okay?
No.
He's like, and I'll see you in Minneapolis.
But there's not the reliance on being like, I'm from New York.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Italian. It's just like, no, this is the stuff I like to do. This is fun. This is what entertains me.
Yes.
And again, these are things that actually happened
Yeah.
in his life that he really did. I
Right.
mean, that's what I appreciate about
And
it.
you both have this thing where it's like, I think if it's relatable, and then also like there's like that deeper. The deeper examination, like that with your gas station bit, it was like, this is relatable because we all do this, but the deeper examination is, and I would rather like die than do this, is like, holy shit, like that's good writing. And
Yeah.
you both are doing that on opposite spectrum, so I don't know. I just,
Well, somebody's calendar is filling up. Okay, Chance.
yeah, I'm just,
Gotcha.
And Reno, you're great. I love-
It's fun. You're just fun. You're a fun
Something about
guy.
sitting next to you. It's just like fun, man.
Yeah.
It
Makes me feel good. Makes me think about butt stuff.
No, Reno has the same thing. You do the, it's like goofy, like you were talking about. The thing I like about your comedy that you said you were insecure about is that you have like these bits and then you like are injecting like some bitterness into them. I like the watching you oscillate between those things. I think it's interesting from like
Really?
an artistic perspective. I like
Well.
that. Yeah, I do. I think it's
You want
funny.
to come to Toledo this week?
Pack your bags,
I
kid.
gotta call you.
I feel like he shows up to every one of these just with like a suitcase in the back just in case.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
what do you
yeah.
think?
Well, he's opening for Aries Spears this weekend. So.
I know, yeah. It's gonna
Well, you
be a
guys do that
fucking
same bit about
nightmare.
the half.
Well,
we have
we
the
got to
same-
thank
Yes.
Taylor, George, and Adrian, our producers.
Thank you, guys.
We got to thank the lighting rigs for going out, for not having the battery
We like
light.
to be dark and mysterious sometimes, guys.
Yeah,
You know,
Yin Yang Parmesan. But as always, Chance,
Thanks,
Reno,
guys.
and our very, very special guest
Honored to, yeah.
from
Thanks, guys.
True TV and the Two Cool Moms podcast, a little crossover with Joe Gatto. Joe, it's an honor having you here, and hopefully we'll get to do this many more times. Where can
okay.
everybody
I'm
keep
good.
up with everybody?
I'm good. Thanks. This is great. This is great. I'll see you on our podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
But this one, we'll put a check mark. I did it.
But you're on the road. Where can people keep up with your dates?
I'll go look all over. I'm all over the social medias. At Joe_Gatto on Instagram is the best place. Find my links right there.
Here we go. Reno,
RenoCollierComedy.com, and there's all that stuff's on there. But
beautiful. Chance, as always.
ChanceWillie.com. All my dates and all the links are up there. You can do it there.
I should have a .com apparently. Make
What
a
do you
note.
have? You
I don't have
still
anything.
Nope.
Yeah, you don't have to if you're on major network television.
Nothing,
yeah.
I got nothing. Made a note.
Yeah,
I'm learning
yeah.
so much from you. You're just such a nice guy.
what you need is a website.
If you could,
Do you know what the World Wide Web is?
If you could just get your name out there a little more.
ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Comedy Pinata live from Zanies in Nashville. If you get to Nashville, you got to come down, check out a show. Thank you guys very much, and tune in, rate, review, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks
Fight
again.
the repo man.